Since the economy collapsed in 2008, jobs have literally evaporated. Employees, through no fault of their own, lost jobs in droves. Today, many of these Americans remain long-term unemployed, wondering what the future holds for them. Experienced and educated, many are wondering when their dismal employment prospects will improve. What can one do to improve one's chances to find employment in this challenging employment market? What common misconceptions should the long-term unemployed avoid? What role does networking play in finding employment? Can the long-term unemployed represent a solution to improving staffing levels in a time of economic recovery? In other words, how can you get back in the game? Hello, my name is attorney Ramsey Bahrawy, and welcome to Your Money, Your Life. My guest, Chrsitine, Bolzan, is the founder of Graduate Career Coaching. She has extensive recruiting, interviewing, training, and development experience. She has an insider's perspective which uniquely qualifies her to prepare her clients for the daunting task of launching a new career. Chrsitine, welcome to Your Money, Your Life. It's great to have you on the program.
Thank you, Ramsey. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, now we know in 2007, 2008, the economy went into a recession. We also know that as a result of that recession, a lot of people lost their jobs. And many of those people today still haven't found jobs, and they're now being referred to as the long-term unemployed. Could you tell our viewers what is meant by long-term unemployed?
Sure. Long-term unemployed it references the part of the unemployed population that's been out of work for 27 weeks or more. Typically, this is a really small part of the unemployed population. And the highest figure it ever reached before this year was a little bit over 25% back in the 80s. The number right now is, in fact, Ramsey, 46% of the unemployed population has been looking for work for over 27 weeks.
Wow. Are there any particular demographic characteristics that would help people understand who these long-term unemployed are?
Sure. The state with the highest rate of long-term unemployment is Michigan, which we can all understand with the decline of the car industry. It tends to be far more males than females, more minorities than non-minorities.
And how about age? Are there any age demographics?
Tends to be workers over 45. So sometimes when you've been in the market looking for a job for quite some time, that age discrimination can start to kick in.
So what does someone do who finds themselves in this cycle of unemployment? I mean, is there anything you can do to be more successful in finding a job? Are there any particular strategies that people should follow?
There are some terrific strategies, and some of the things that plague the folks who fall into this demographic are things like your skills start to get a little bit stale and outdated. And so what are some of the things that you can do to focus on building those skills? Take a look at the job descriptions for the jobs you'd really like to have. Does your resume reflect those skills? And if you don't have a particular skill, maybe it's a software package, or maybe it's a language skill. Go out and take a course, enroll in a local community college, and make sure you have the skills and experience required by the jobs that you seek. Some of the other suggestions we talk about is leaning on your alma mater. A lot of folks may say to me, Chrsitine, I don't have a great network, and the other folks that I used to work with, they're all unemployed as well. So look to the folks that also went to the same school that you went to, and lean on them for some leads, some inside information, and some very important informational interviews.
I mean, I know I still work with my alma mater, and I'm not long-term unemployed. I'm not looking for work, but I continue to work with my alma mater. I've actually hired people from my alma mater to work in my office. It's important to stay involved, and it's a tremendous networking opportunity when you can work with your college.
Exactly, and just like you said, so many folks are inclined to hire someone who also went to their same school.
Absolutely.
You have that little common bond, even if you graduated 10, 23, 20, 25 years apart from one another. There's a little common bond there that makes people want to be supportive and reach out and help you.
Now, are there any additional strategies that people who are unemployed should be looking at? I mean, most people start in the newspaper when they're looking for jobs. Is that what they should be doing? Should they be focusing on the newspaper, or they should be doing something else?
Well, the newspaper ads, they do represent a small portion of the jobs that are available today, but it's a very small percentage. Online job postings are also very popular, but when I talk to folks about what have you been doing to find jobs to apply for, and they tell me, I spend much of my day scouring the internet and looking for opportunities on the job boards, that's a very small percentage of the opportunities that are out there. In fact, An important fact for people to know, less than 10% of job seekers will find a job by simply applying to an online opportunity.
Wow, really, it's that low?
It is that low. Now, where are the jobs then? If they're not advertised
exactly.
online, I'm not finding them in the classifieds, where are they? A lot of them are in this hidden job market through employee referrals and word of mouth. So that's where networking plays such an important role. There's a whole nother hidden job market, though, that's a little bit lesser known today. We're going to start hearing about it more towards the end of this year. And that's the job market that's where the positions are being filled by the hiring manager who isn't advertising the job. He isn't offering the opportunity out to the employee referral network. He's scouring the internet for terrific potential employees himself. He's using corporate recruiting solutions through services like LinkedIn and Facebook to identify more passive candidates rather than opening the floodgates to the many people who are unemployed to apply.
Okay. Now, I know that my generation, and I'm part of the baby boom generation, very much believes in the fact that you prepare a solid resume. You put together a cover letter where you try to sell yourself. You send in that cover letter and resume, and I know people in my generation believe that that's going to result in at least an interview. What do you say to that?
That's not happening today.
That's not happening.
In fact, what I hear from most job seekers is, I feel like I'm blasting these resumes into a black hole. And then I've heard from folks, I know I've sent out 2,000-3,000 resumes over the last year and a half that I've been looking for work. This is a case of quality is far more important than quantity. You need to have targeted cover letters and targeted resumes that reflect the very specific skills an employer is looking for. And to make sure that that resume does not fall into the proverbial black hole, you need to be networking within those target organizations so that you make a connection with an individual who's going to bring your resume to the attention of the hiring manager and make certain it gets read.
Okay. How do you feel about people who basically blanket potential employers with resumes and cover letters? I mean, it's not targeted. It's like a shotgun approach.
The shotgun approach does not work. It's just not effective in this particular economy. And I think it's probably, because it's not effective, it's really changing the nature of job seeking in general. We'll never see that approach works anymore ever again. What you need to do is you need to network strategically, identify 2-3 dozen target companies, and then work your way in the door there to get to know some employees so that you can conduct some informational interviews, and when the job openings come up, you're the first person that they think of to call.
Okay. So what sort of preparation should they do? Is it enough just to know a little bit about the employer, or should they go further than that?
They have to go much further. And being completely prepared is the only acceptable behavior in this kind of economy. So first off, you do need to do, as you alluded to, very effective company research. Read everything that you can find out there on the internet, the company mission statement, speeches given by the chairman. You need to talk to employees within the company and get the insider's perspective. You need to know exactly what they're looking for and what that corporation represents. You also need to prepare your message very fully. Don't, when they ask you a question on your resume about a specific project that you've listed, you don't ever want to give the answer, I don't really remember that. Nothing on your resume should be on there if you can't talk about it intelligently and relate it specifically to the job. I highly recommend practicing, doing mock interviews, filming them if at all possible and available, and practicing with your friends and family if you have to.
Okay. So enlist your family and friends to maybe fire questions at you or help you in a mock interview type situation?
Exactly, and they'll be pretty honest. Those folks tend to be a little bit more honest than maybe a professional you might even hire. Although I do recommend, if you've been unemployed for 27 plus weeks, it may be the time to start to think about engaging professional advice and service to get a new perspective to help you overcome whatever obstacles you're encountering.
Sure. I mean, yeah, if it's been a while and if your strategies haven't been working, then it's time to get some help, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. In closing, thanks to my guest, Chrsitine Bolzan. Wonderful to have you on the program. Thanks for all those great hints.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Now, could you please tell our viewers how they can contact you?
Sure. They can find me on the web at graduatecareercoaching.com, or they can reach me at my office in Topsfield, and the phone number is listed on the website.
All right. Wonderful. Thanks very much. And as usual, thank you to you, our viewers, for watching Your Money, Your Life. My name is Attorney Ramsey Bahrawy.